Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfold, and today we're gonna be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's out in Dallas, Texas. As always, please press that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram. My name is at Growfold. Feel free to send a direct message to me. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. And as you can see right here, I'm actually going back to this particular Dallas Lowe's location because I had such a good time showing y'all the massive selection of Costa Farms houseplants. This is the actual location where I found those jumbo size, extra large size Monstera Thai constellations for only $150. And to me, that plant pricing is insane. And I did want to just shout out my friend Jordan. If you notice, I do have a lot of new music for my big box or plant shopping video. So I hope you find these relaxing. I hope you guys find this amazing. And please give my friend Jordan, his music is called Wired. It's going to be a link to his YouTube website where it's royalty-free music. So I definitely want to return the favor for having him make some of these custom tracks. Feel free to leave in the comments what you think, but it is a beautiful morning when I went out and did some filming. I am trying my best to get you guys some more big box or plant shopping videos. The consistency of me getting one daily hasn't been to my standards. Things have just been super busy, and you know, summer, just when it gets really hot, it really takes the energy out of you to where you just want to vegetate and stay indoors. But I am going to show you some of the beautiful plants. Some of it I'm going to show some of the outdoor plants that we have here. You can see we've got tons of lantana. But before we get into the big box or plant shopping video, I did want to go talk about Classy Rabbit soil. If you are a plant foldie, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. If you are a plant foldie, you already know I ask you the question of, have you pooped on your plants today? And if you haven't, you definitely should consider pooping on your plants using Classy Rabbit soil. So Classy Rabbit soil is a local small business based out in McKinney, Texas. I am potting up a beautiful Aglaonema golden powder from another Dallas small business called Peta's Planter. So you already know I love supporting local and small businesses. Classy Rabbit soil is super chunky. It is 100% naturally sourced. Some of the ingredients I want to highlight is obviously the rabbit manure, and then also it has rice hulls, it has pumice, it has composted food waste, which makes this soil sustainable. And what I love about the soil is not only is it created by a small business, it is created by farmers. So farmers know exactly what good soil is. It's definitely not created by soil scientists or whatever that means. I have been using Classy Rabbit soil for quite a while. Oftentimes I pot up a lot of my plants from overseas, which requires a little bit more tender love and care. And this particular soil substrate is what it is. It actually is a complete soil. You don't have to add any additives to it to make it more chunky. It's actually fast draining. You'll see right over here that the water just drains very quickly. So this is a very versatile soil. It is a soil that is going to promote really strong roots with the natural mycorrhizae. I am so thankful that several of the plant foldies have ordered a bag on classyrabbit.com. Classyrabbit.com does offer free shipping for a minimum amount of bags, so definitely check that out. And what I love about it is owned by my friend Nate, a good friend of mine that introduced me to his product when I was actually at PlantCon 2025 in Orlando, Florida. You can see that I have potted up this beautiful Aglaonema golden powder. And if you haven't already, definitely check out classyrabbit.com. Put in your order for Classy Rabbit soil. You definitely will not regret using this soil. It is one of my favorite soil substrates, and it's one that I love to even mix with some of my other soil substrates. But overall, it has a lower plant price for the bag of soil. So definitely check out the website and let me know what you think. I hope you guys will poop on your plants today. So as you can see right here, plant foldies, this is the Lowe's location. And while the outdoor area or the outdoor garden center for this particular Lowe's location isn't as full, it kind of goes to show that during the summertime, or at least in certain parts of the country where it is extremely hot, sometimes the outdoor garden sections actually wean down on some of the selections we have. You can see right over here, we do have some landscape tropicals. So we've got some canna lilies, we've got all sorts of tropical landscaping plants. So these plants, unfortunately for my grow zone, which is 8B, is one of the plants that it will be more so an annual plant, something that you can only grow for just a growing season unless you attempt to overwinter these plants, which means trying to bring them indoors. But I'm going to go ahead and just walk around and show you what the outdoor section looks like, and then we are going to go into the main event, which is the indoor tropical plants, to see what plants they have from Costa Farms, Urban Jungle Plants, and Live Trends Design. If you like a perennial type plant, this is called the Rose of Sharon. It looks like a hibiscus flower, but this one is by Proven Winners, and we love Proven Winner plants, whether it's outdoor gardening Proven Winner plants or Proven Winners Leaf Joy, which is their tropical houseplant line. Rose of Sharon can actually be a perennial, which means that this plant will actually come back year after year, or actually it's a deciduous plant. It becomes more of like a flowering shrub or a flowering tree. I've seen my mother-in-law actually have it in her backyard. So I really love the Rose of Sharon. It does require full sun, just like a lot of the flowering shrubs, in order for it to really produce those beautiful blooms. But you'll see that at Lowe's locations, plant foldies, there's not quite a bit of outdoor garden plants. Some Lowe's locations have a little bit more, but this one either has been shopped heavily because it is in the heart of Dallas. So this is one of the more urban type big box stores. I am based out in North Dallas, so I typically live more in the suburbs area where there may not be as much traction or foot traffic. But as you can see right here, I did want to show you some of my aesthetics in terms of planters. You already know, and that is a new term for plant foldies, that I will be talking about terracotta planters. What I love about terracotta planters, and what I've said in a lot of my videos, is terracotta planters helps remove some of the moisture of a soil substrate. So if you are somebody that is considered an overwaterer, somebody that just cannot stop watering your plants, I don't really have that problem. I actually have the problem of being an underwater, somebody that doesn't water my plants nearly as much, which causes drought, which causes plants to want to shout and scream to enter plant heaven. I have sent quite a bit of plants because of the drought that I create, and that's really part of just negligence and just pure laziness. Or it could be that you are experiencing plant burnout, where you have just way too many plants and you don't have the time, or you might have the time, but you are so overwhelmed. And even plants, as much as we want to say plants bring us joy, bring us happiness, plants can also bring us anxiety and stress because we have created such a workload. So as far as plants, You just have to really mitigate the amount of plants you have in your plant collection. And as far as a plant collection, I would even say plant foldies. And I know I'm going on a tangent as I'm picking up some of these beautiful planters, is really looking at curating your houseplant collection. You know, the question is, are you a plant collector? Are you a plant enthusiast? Or are you a plant hoarder? Or all of the above? I would say, for me, I am probably more so a plant hoarder at this point. And full transparency, Plant Foley, this is the reason why I have promised to do a house plant tour. But I just feel like the plant styling, some of my plants are just not the best to show for YouTube. Because I do feel like, and this is just me talking out of pure speculation, but I do feel like sometimes when people tune into a specific content creator, whether it's somebody that is a plant content creator, plant influencer, whatever you want to call people who make YouTube videos or make plant content, that there is a level of expectation that our plant collections are perfect. They are by no means perfect at all. Honestly, the ones that are silently growing plants and that are not on social media, hence say my grandmother, who just recently got on social media because I featured her plants, those are the people that actually have the best plant collections. That doesn't mean I don't have healthy plants. I have a lot of beautiful Aglaonema, but you know, I was really reflecting on some of the big box store plant shopping videos I've done, and a lot of it is somewhat repetitive. I would say that we are typically seeing the same plants featured in the videos, but a lot of you guys are probably tuning in not just for the plant care tips, the plant pricing, the tips on how to save money while shopping at big box stores, but also the insights I give. But I also wanted to shout my beautiful baby chickens, Charlotte and Catriona. You can see that they are living their best life. This was a clip about a week ago. I meant to insert this clip in one of my other plant shopping videos, but you can see that they are happily eating their food. So they've kind of switched into egg layer scratch food. They're not really eating crumbs anymore, or little whatever pellet crumbs that you have for little baby chickens. They are quickly growing. And so for those that don't know, I actually take care of a barred rock hen, which is a black and white zebra looking one. And then I also have a Rhode Island red, the other one that is more of like an orangey brown color. Her name is Catriona, and she is named after the Miss Universe from Philippines 2028, Catriona Gray. Charlotte, on the other hand, and I know it sounds silly, but you know, I am an 80s baby, grew up in the 90s, and I was really addicted to playing video games, arcade games. Charlotte is actually named after a arcade game called Samurai Spirits, and there was a character from France named Charlotte. So silly tidbit, but you know, I think plant foliage, you guys like to hear more about these babies, and what I love is actually capturing them as they forage and just walk around my backyard. You can see that they are living their best life, and I did not realize that chickens really like to stay clean, and they do what they call dust baths. It's like a social thing, and when I say that after they're done rolling around the dust, they literally have their eyes rolling, and you can literally pick up the chicken and they are in pure euphoria. So for those that support Catriona and Charlotte, really appreciate you guys. For my YouTube membership tier, I am having another members only video where I will update you on some of their growth and just my thoughts about raising backyard chickens. I really enjoy it. I feel like it has really enhanced my life because I'm able to take care of a pet, but it's not as demanding as say taking care of a dog or a cat. And so that's just a little update on my little baby chickens. Hopefully you guys didn't click away from the video and think that I was just going to show you some chickens. Here is the main event plant foldy. So you can see right over here, we've got a lot of these Costa Farms trending tropical plants on these racks. So things to highlight at this particular Lowe's location is, number one, this Lowe's location is more of a greenhouse setup. So some Lowe's locations have their plants like attached inside their store. This one is actually like a room separate in between the actual Lowe's location and then the outdoor garden section. And I think this actually provides really good, ideal greenhouse conditions to where a lot of the plants are thriving because the humidity is a lot higher, and they have bright, open, high ceiling windows where it's literally getting west facing light. So lots of intense light in the afternoon, to the point where a lot of these plants, whether they sell or not, put on so much growth. So you'll see that I'm picking up a lot of these plants. I know that I have featured this big box store last week, but I just couldn't help but show you how super full it is, how the selection of Costa Farms is still quite large. Philodendron Pink Princess, for instance, $15.98, self-watering planter in a 6-inch planter. This is another philodendron or houseplant I would recommend as an easy care plant, and the reason being it's a pretty vigorous grower. Now, as far as the variegation, as I always mention, you can see that there are various levels of variegation for Pink Princess. It's really the initial genetics of the plant. So if you find a Pink Princess that has more burgundy leaves but less variegation, even if you were to flood it with tons of light, it does not necessarily mean it's going to push out more variegation. Some plants, it's influenced by the amount of light you give it. Some plants, it could be a combination of both, but for the Philodendron Pink Princess, it's more of the initial genetics. I do love this silver inducan. I can't really say the actual name, but let me just say that the leaves are stunning, and I had to buy one the last time I was here. That is a new Costa Farms trending tropical plant release, $19.98. I will say that particular plant is a little bit more thirsty, but what I did was actually take it, repot it. I actually use Fox Farms soil for this one just because it retains a little bit more moisture than the Classy Rabbit soil. I am currently growing my silver inducan alongside with a lot of my aglaonema and houseplants in general outdoors in a shaded patio, and I have a sprinkler system that takes care of it. I water my plants outdoors with my hose in the morning before I go to work, and then if I'm off, I will actually water it again when I get home from work, which is typically around like 5:30 or 6, and water them twice a day, and they are living their best life. And some of that really is influenced by my grandmother, because my family is originally from the Philippines, and I say this in every single video, and I will continue to mention that just because it's very important, and I think it's pertinent, especially for the plant content that I create, that I reflect back on my family's heritage, which is the Philippines. And in the Philippines, we're seeing stuff like this Monstera adansonii. All of these Costa Farms plants can grow outdoors, and a lot of them can even grow in full sun in a Southeast Asian country such as the Philippines, because the concept of houseplants, it doesn't really exist. I almost feel like houseplants is a concept created in the Western world, like in the United States, where people feel the need to put something nature-wise in an indoor space versus letting these plants just grow in their landscapes. You know, we look at these different types of environments, and as I reflect back on just how they grow plants in the Philippines, oftentimes it's literally outside in a landscape. That's how my grandmother, Lola Belen, for those that don't know, Lola Belen, she is my 90-year-old grandmother who has taught me so much about plants. And speaking of plants, I am so tempted to buy this Philodendron Black Cardinal. I mean, look at how stunning that is right there. I love dark foliage plants. And, you know, as far as philodendrons like that, you know, philodendrons, unless they're the velvety texture ones, they are actually an easy care plant. And speaking of easy care plant, look at this Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one is by Urban Jungle in a ceramic hanging planter for only $14.98. Please buy yourself a pothos plant. Please, 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 if you don't have one, add one into your plant collection. This one right here is another Urban Jungle plant. This one is a Ficus Audrey. Story time on my Ficus Audrey. So I bought a Ficus Audrey a year ago from Costco when they had the massive sale. I grew it in a west-facing window in my master bedroom, and it never put out any growth. Rewind to last month when I decided to just bring it outdoors, put it in full sun, water it twice a day, and now it has shot up so much new growth to where I just really feel like a lot of these plants, especially ficus, they belong outdoors. They belong in full sun. Same thing with like these philodendrons. So this is a philodendron white knight. This one is for $19.98. And you know, this is so crazy, right? Plant foldies. As much as I've done big box or plant shopping videos, I can pretty much tell you what the market price is per plant, per big box store. So to let anybody that lives out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, or if you have, make sure you turn on all notifications, because if you really want to stay tuned with what is entering the Dallas-Fort Worth plant market, whether it's local plant nurseries and big box stores, I will always have some of the more current pricing in my videos. Like this one right here is a beautiful Epipremnum aria Marble Queen Pothos. Some people would even say that it is a Snow Queen Pothos, but this one is another Live Trends design plant. I love it, and this is only for $16.95. So I saw this last time, and it looks like nobody has picked it up. I'm hoping that that will go to a really good home. And as I look at some of these plants, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some more and show you what they have to offer. This one is a Dracaena, another underrated plant. I'm just curious, and I really do want to ask the plant foldies that really tune in, will you leave in the comment section below if you grow Dracaenas? I am just curious if people are even paying attention to them, because I do like them because they are an easy to care for plant. So we're just going to keep picking up plants like this Silver Bay, Aglaonema Silver Bay. This one is a plant. If you're going to call yourself a viewer, a subscriber, a supporter, please buy yourself an Aglaonema Silver Bay and Aglaonema Red Siam. Those are the two most common Aglaonema you will find at a big box store, but just because they're common does not necessarily mean that they are not of value. I think that they will bring you so much joy just having them in your plant collection, because they're so easy, and who doesn't like an Aglaonema, right? So let me just keep picking up these plants and listen to some of the relaxing music I have available as we just walk around this big box store and go shopping. Who doesn't love just picking up all of these Costa Farms trending tropical plants? This one is a philodendron painted lady, and you'll see that there's a lot of these plants that have just put on so much growth. $19.98. Again, this is a Raven ZZ. Love the look of a Raven ZZ. I think Raven ZZ, along with just ZZ plants, are the easy care plants of the century. They're very drought tolerant and even low light tolerant. Water when you feel like they need to be watered, and that's basically when the soil is completely dry. But even if you don't water them and the soil is completely dry, they will be just fine. I treat them more of like a succulent when it comes to watering. But as you can see here, we do have different types of alocasia. So I love this alocasia. I haven't had the most luck with just keeping it alive. You know, there was a moment in time where I was making a lot of videos featuring semi-hydroponic substrates using leca or lechuza pond. I will say, if you're gonna grow grow alocasia, growing them in lechuza pond is going to increase your chances of keeping alocasia alive, because they do need to be consistently watered, but not overwatered to the point where you'll rot the corms. They need higher humidity because these plants are more susceptible to spider mites, and high humidity levels kind of repel spider mites. They like to thrive in more drier conditions. But you can see that this plant, if you were to touch the leaves, it literally feels very leathery and waxy, and the leaves feel very durable. It is amazing what Costa Farms has done in terms of the plant world. I mean, you can see right here, this one is an Epipremnum pinnatum albo, which is also endemic to my home country, the Philippines. These are considered weeds. They grow everywhere. You can literally see them on the sides of the roads, climbing up on walls. And what this particular plant does is it actually likes to climb up and attach its aerial roots to where it starts to get larger leaves and fenestrate. And the term fenestrate means that the leaves start to split. The reason why a plant wants to fenestrate is it actually allows the light to be able to reach the lower leaves that are not fenestrated. So I was actually tempted to buy that particular Epipremnum pinnatum albo because it's nice and full and lush. And you can see this right here, Monstera stadliana, but you can see that it is trailing because this plant has probably been here for a little while now. And you can see that ideal growing conditions such as high humidity, bright indirect light, and consistent watering provides a really good source to where these plants can thrive even at a big box store. And you'll see that the leaves on this particular one are highly variegated. There's one that it's pretty much white leaves, which is not always a good thing, because if it just starts to push white leaves, there's not any green or chlorophyll to actually keep that plant alive. So if you start getting a vine that starts to just push out white leaves, please, or at least I would say this, if you want to keep your plant alive, cut it back to the last node where it has green in it to encourage more balanced variegation. Over here is a Epipremnum aureum Shangri-La, or this is what you call a Japanese pothos from the Taruna World Series. This is $19.98. And as Costa Farms continues to release new releases of plants, it just makes plant collecting and plant shopping more exciting. This is an Aglaonema that is not often seen at a big box store. This is called an Aglaonema spathonema. So the typical Aglaonema you will see are the ones that look like Aglaonema silver bay. This one has more of an upright cane type Aglaonema, and the leaves seem to be a little bit more narrow. It almost looks like an Aglaonema pictum. So there's different types of Aglaonemas. I do like the green on green variegation. Sometimes it'll have streaks of cream or white. It almost reminds me of like a philodendron heteroraceum. But this one is another Aglaonema I love. It's a very vigorous grower because it does have a lot of green, and it likes to shoot little baby pups. And that to me is the best way to multiply your Aglaonemas or propagate them, is through separation from the mother plant. Some people will take cuttings, but I do believe it's better for them to just produce little baby shoots, and you can separate it from the mother plant. And I think that that is the fastest way to propagate an Aglaonema. This Aglaonema spathonema, it kind of rhymes, right? Is only for $19.98. So let's just keep looking around and seeing what plants they still have at this Lowe's location. If you made it this far into the video, plant foldies, please press the thumbs up or like button. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I would love for you guys to continue to grow this channel, and that is one way to really support it. It definitely helps push it out to more plant lovers like yourself. And also your engagement, your comments, and also just the watch time. So if you watch a video for a content creator in its entirety, it definitely helps the analytics to where people are really tuning into your content. Now, this one right here is a philodendron painted lady, and you'll see that it's just produced so much growth because it's been growing at this Lowe's location for a while. It definitely is in need of some type of support, whether it is a totem pole, a moss pole, something of that nature, because this particular philodendron wants to climb up. It is a climber. It's not something that you want to let trail, because if you let a plant that wants to climb trail, the leaves actually get smaller and smaller, and the space between each node becomes even more leggy because it's looking for light. And some plants, they have that growth pattern to where they are growing specifically for a lighting condition that Mother Nature would provide. And this one right over here is another Monstera Thai Constellation, $29.98 by Costa Farms. This is another one that has really reached the big box store. Monstera Thai Constellations used to be super rare. Now it's all about comparing and contrasting which Monstera Thai Constellation you want to buy at a big box store and for what price. So let's continue looking at some more plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think of the plants and which ones you would buy at this Lowe's location. Such a cute Hoya Comingiana, which is another Hoya that is endemic to the Philippines. I love how it's on a little trellis already, and it's already growing so many new shoots. And then we have a large ZZ plant right here for $39.98. That's actually a really good price. ZZ plants are a little bit slower growing, so if you want something that's instant gratification, if you want a large plant, Costa Farms has you because they do produce large plants. And look at this beautiful Fittonia Forever Stripes. Beautiful plant. I really love the striping of it, but Fittonias are very, very thirsty plants. If you are not able to provide that type of watering, then I would not recommend it because it will quickly go to plant heaven. It is one that doesn't like to stay dry for too long. You really want to make sure that you keep the soil moist. Otherwise, it is a beautiful plant to add into a space. It is easy to propagate as well. You can just take a cutting and root it in water or put it straight into soil. And we talk about Ficus elastica or rubber trees. These are beautiful plants, and this one I believe is the Taniki for $19.98. I am currently growing all of my Ficus outdoors in full sun because I just think that that is the conditions that they are going to thrive in the best. And when you take a ficus like this indoors, it doesn't do as well if you don't give it enough light, because in its native environments like the Philippines, these are actually full-blown trees that can get up to 20 to 25 feet tall, and it's out in full sun. Over here, we've got the classic Monstera deliciosa. You can see that it is already ready to attach onto some type of pole. Monstera deliciosas do get fairly large. So if you buy one like this, just know within a year, it's going to take up a lot of space. That's the thing that I also wanted to talk about plant foldies, is really planning for the maximum height, or actually the potential of the plant's growth. Oftentimes we'll buy smaller plants, but eventually they get larger and larger if you give them the right ideal conditions. So be cognizant of the space you have in your indoors, because if you buy a Monstera deliciosa or Monstera Thai Constellation, they can get up to massive sizes in very little time. So that's something that I learned the hard way, because I eventually ended up getting a Monstera Thai Constellation that was small, and then now it's outgrowing itself to the point where I don't know where I'm going to have the space. But let me go ahead and keep showing you all of these plants. I am a fan of this Lowe's location because of all of the plants they have available, both small, medium, and large size plants for very budget-friendly, cost-effective plant pricing. got one of these beautiful Aglaonema pink cyans for $19.98. I'm tempted to buy this one. Now, if they had this on clearance, it would go home with me immediately today. Same thing with an Aglaonema red cyan. I ended up buying this, and it's one of my favorite plants. It is the mascot of the YouTube channel known as Growfold. It is a Aglaonema that is commonly found, but it is one that is super underrated, overlooked, and people just don't grow them. So plant foldies. In all my videos, I say this: let's make it a goal to all buy an Aglaonema red cyan. It's not expensive at all. If you go to a Lowe's location, you can buy self-watering planter of Aglaonema red cyan for only $15.98. Care tips for that is bright indirect light, water when the soil is completely dry, and that is it. Super, super easy, and we're gonna just keep picking up more of these plants here. We have another Aglaonema spathanema for $19.98. That this philodendron painted lady has put on so much growth, and if I'm going to buy any Costa Farms trending tropical plants, I will definitely buy it at this location, because you know what, the big box store has already done the work in terms of getting these plants to establish and even grow more new growth. So I feel like if I spend my money, I'm saving money because I'm getting a better and larger plant. You can even see over here they've got even more Aglaonemas and just more selection. Aglaonema pink cyan, it's such a beautiful plant. I have so many of these as well, and I don't mind adding them. What I love about this is the white pinkish stems, and then also the pink margins or borders of the leaves. This one is just one single large plant, and like I said again, I could ask to see if they would give me the clearance price, which is typically 50% off. I would definitely buy this. I would definitely rescue it. And you know, there are some plant foldies that are all about going to big box stores and rescuing the plant. I did want to shout out Erica Green, a local plant foldie that went to this store. And if you rewind back and watch the video where I showed an it was not an Aglaonema, it was a Syndapsis Java Platinum. She went back there and actually bought it. It just really needed to be watered, and she sent me an Instagram photo of the plant looking so much better. So Erica Green, thank you so much for taking the time and thinking of me, and then just traveling to that actual Lowe's location. It's always nice to really see that some of the local plant foldies go to these locations, and it's even better when we are rescuing plants. She ended up getting it for $7. So that was an amazing save, and I hope to see that plant continue to grow and thrive in your care, Erica. And I did want to say thank you again to all of the plant foldies that continue to watch my videos. I did also want to shout out Angelique. Her birthday is coming up this Sunday, so hopefully we can all tune in to maybe a compilation of plant shopping videos, but really celebrate Angelique's birthday. She is the aunt to Charlotte and Catriona. She has been such a great patron for my YouTube channel in terms of just sending me super stickers to help fund some of the funding for my baby chickens and just supporting the channel in general. I really appreciate that, and I know that sometimes life can be a little bit tough for all of us, but it's so amazing to see that all of our plant foldies, whenever we go into a live premiere chat, typically at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to make some plant friends, join the plant foldy community. Whenever I premiere a video, you can join the live chat. But I love the fact that we can all be very transparent, very vulnerable, very open with each other about whether we are going through some struggles or if we are celebrating something that we all want to celebrate and have fun with. But this is what makes this YouTube channel a little bit more unique. I may not be getting thousands and thousands of views, nor do I have thousands and thousands of followers, but what I do have is a very engaged plant community. And another plant content creator influencer by the name of Pondon mentioned that it's not always about the amount of followers or subscribers you have. It's really the genuine connections and engagement of those that follow you. And I really do believe in that. I am so honored and thankful that you guys really do take the time to leave comments, to press the like button, to share the videos, to interact with each other. And hopefully as I continue to make more of this content, that this community continues to grow, because yes, I'm showing you a beautiful philodendron golden crocodile, and yes, I'm showing you another beautiful Epipremnum aureum lemon top pothos by Costa Farms for $19.98. But even if we've seen multiple times these plants, I think what makes this YouTube channel just a lot of fun for me is the fact that there is so much engagement amongst each other, not just with me, but with other plant foldies. I did want to shout out Teal too. I have to say, Teal, you are living your best life. I love the fact that you share how much fun you have and how you go about your day. And I love learning about all the other plant foldies that just tune in. So feel free to send me a direct message anytime on Instagram. I know the majority of y'all are more of a mature crowd, and I love that as well. And not all of you guys are in Instagram, but if for some reason you are able to create an Instagram account, I'm telling you, there's a lot of plant foldies that interact. I may even create a plant foldies chat group text on Instagram to where we can even message each other aside from just going to a big box store live premiere chat. Now over here, I did want to show you Epipremnum aureum Champs Ulysses. So look at how beautiful this is. What makes this unique is it's a Japanese pothos. This was actually created by the Taruno World Series. This is another one that looks like a neon pothos, which is my favorite pothos plant, but you'll see that it has a little bit more texture and crumpling on the leaves. That one is for $19.98. And this is another plant like all of the neon colored yellowish varieties that you need to provide bright indirect light for it to do well. I have one, and I am actually currently growing it outdoors in a shaded patio. It does get a little bit more light. It's further closer to the area where it gets a little bit more light for a longer period of time. It has started to bleach the leaves a little bit, but I don't mind that look. It's definitely a showstopper. And as I pan away from here, more Costa Farms plants. These are all the trending tropical ones, and you'll just notice that they have quite a bit of foliage and growth. Now this one is a live trends design plant for $24.98. Philodendron hederaceum, just the green form, and it is beautiful. This particular pothos is labeled as a global green pothos, but I really think that this is either a green julep pothos or a lemon top pothos by Costa Farms. Needless to say, it is living its best life, because even though it is in a 6-inch self-watering planter for $19.98, you can see that this has been growing so much in these ideal conditions. And that's the reason why not all big box stores, and I repeat myself, not all big box stores are created equal. Some places have these like greenhouse type environments that push out so much new growth for these plants. I mean, take a look at this beautiful philodendron golden crocodile, and you can just see that the new leaf that is unfurling has more of an orange tone about it. absolutely stunning philodendron, and this is one that is only for $19.98. I am so tempted to buy myself another philodendron golden crocodile. I mean, these are more readily available. You can find these at a lot of big box stores, but look at the size of this particular plant. And I have to say, if you're going to go buy a plant, especially a Costa Farms trending tropical plant, look for one that has such good growth already. I mean, there is a size difference with some of the other ones that you'll see. That one has semi-mature leaves, and then you can see right here, this is a philodendron white knight, but you can see that it's grown so much in this space. It's definitely screaming for a pole to attach on. $19.98. And what's interesting is whenever I do my filming for big box stores in the early morning or like almost before noontime, the lighting is in perfect condition. I mean, let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you agree. And I have to say, a lot of our interest that we get into as far as plants, I mean, look at this silver inducon. Again, I hope that more people will buy this because it is such a beautiful plant for $19.98. But I love the fact that things that I share on the channel, people, you know, it sparks some interest. So like, for instance, we've got some plant foldies that are also raising baby chickens. I really love that. And I don't necessarily want to say that I'm gonna, you know, convert my plant shopping YouTube channel into a chicken channel, but it's nice to know that we do share similar interests and we're able to discuss and talk about it during the live premiere chat. So again, feel free to share, you know, stories about some of your furry friends or your pets, specifically chickens. I know that everybody on the channel has really embraced Charlotte and Catriona, and I promise that I'm going to have videos not only for the super plant foldies, the ones that are YouTube members, but also for just the general plant foldy community. So stay tuned for that as I continue to make more videos. It is a little bit of a challenge these days because I am super busy with work, and you know, part of me, sometimes I'm just tired. And I've shared this in some of my most recent videos where before I used to you know, stay up till 2 to 3 in the morning editing videos, and then I would be up at 6 to get to work. I'll work a 10-hour shift and then go out and film again. To me, it wasn't really sustainable, and I did want to say thank you to the plant foldies that kind of made me realize that. I mean, I know that some of us are very ambitious and are on the go. I do suffer from, I wouldn't even say suffer, I have a condition where I can be OCD, and it is a legitimate you know, mental opportunity, I would say, where, you know, you fixate on something. Well, before I used to fixate on some negative thoughts and I would just ruminate. Now I utilize, you know, my OCD is more of like a superpower where I can will myself to make content that is, you know, productive, positive, educational, and more so just to foster a community. So you know, I know that I'm a little bit chatty today, but I did have some thoughts about it. I mean, let me know in the comment section if you agree. And you know, as far as plants, I mean, we can take a look at this right here. This one is for $16.98, a Sunstress Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. As far as plants, I do think that plants will bring the best of us and also the worst of us. And when I say the best of us, you know, the positive things that we can see from plants is obviously great wellness in terms of mental and physical health. My grandmother is the primary example of that. I mean, she is literally 90 years old this year, and she is living her best life. She can walk on her own. She is not bedridden. She doesn't have hard of hearing. Her health is great. She is conscious in terms of just being super sharp with holding conversations. And she really does attribute looking at beautiful plants like this lipstick pagoda, for instance, as something that is positive. Now, in terms of plants bringing some of the worst in us, I would even just venture out to say that sometimes plants fuel plant addiction. And, you know, I remember reading a comment where somebody literally said, "Richie, shut up about plant addictions." No, I will not shut up about plant addictions. You know, sometimes people can get a little feisty in the comments section. And the only reason why I say that is we can mask, acquiring plants or just getting plants as a way to grow our collection. But some of us, and even myself, where if you flash a beautiful aglaonema, I already know I am not gonna just say no to buying an aglaonema, even though I have more than 100 plus. It is an addiction. And sometimes, addictions can be semi-healthy, but I think that in terms of what we want to do with our plant collections and how we go about not consuming and buying plants because we feel the need or urge to, that's a little bit of a struggle, at least for me. And I've been able to kind of mitigate that by trying to be a little bit more curated, more intentional about the plants. But I mean, when you pick up a beautiful fern like this for $16.98, I have to say it's just challenging. And so, I asked the viewers, the plant foldies, do you ever feel like you are addicted to plants? And what do you do in terms of mitigating that, or at least weaning off on feeling the need to buy plants? Because as I continue to go to these big box stores and I show you these gorgeous plants from Costa Farms, where do we find that satisfaction to say, you know what, I can pick up this beautiful plant right here. I mean, this is an interesting one that's in a 6-inch planter for $16.98, for instance, but not feel the need to actually buy it and take it home? Do we just, practice mindfulness and admire the plants we currently have? There is a fine balance to it, and I really want to open discussion about that. So, in terms of the Costa Farms plants, though, that we are seeing at this big box store, again, if you are at the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely make a journey out to this particular Lowe's location, because you can see this is a beautiful one right here that I often see. This is one that has velvety texture, and you can see how much growth it's already pushed out. And what's interesting about this vining plant right here is it actually has very compact, very close leaves in terms of just the vining. And this one's only for $16.98. I've been eyeing this for more than a year, but I have yet to purchase it. It is an interesting plant, but it's one that I've kind of just admired from afar. I just kind of like to go plant window shopping. I mean, you can see over here, we've got a Hoya Bertonier, I think that's how you pronounce it, for $16.98. And you can see that there's so much light here that it's actually sun stressing. So it's got more of a maroonish, faint pinkish tone on some of the leaves, and that's what's so interesting about Hoyas. Again, I have yet to really see my Hoya start to bloom. I've had a Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess, for instance, for more than a year, and I haven't seen it bloom. Some people say that you should probably fertilize Hoyas with some bloom booster. I have yet to try it. Maybe I can induce some blooms, but as far as Hoyas, that is a popular plant that a lot of people will get into. And then you can see on this side, we've got all of these feng shui type plants, or what I mean is like good luck or fortune plants. This one is a Dracaena Sandriana, or what you call a lucky bamboo plant. Even though this is not necessarily a bamboo plant, I see that it's got some interesting shapes to it. And then you can see right here, Pachira aquatica. I love saying Pachira aquatica versus just the money tree plant. I just feel like it sounds cooler. $15.98. So if you want to give like a housewarming gift or some type of plant that will bring a good luck and fortune, these are considered lucky plants. And then we're just going to keep picking up some more plants here. This is the classic Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, for instance, $16.98. And gosh, I just have to admire how beautiful the morning light hits these plants. Again, the morning is my favorite time of the day, just because it is new beginnings. The sun is gentle and everything just seems so bright and airy. And that's the reason why I love to go shopping early in the morning, and the fact that there's not as many people running around. If you'll notice that whenever I do my shopping videos, there's not a lot of people, or there's never really anybody in the frame, because I want to respect people's privacy in terms of content creation. I wouldn't really want anybody to just put me in a video without my consent. So I kind of go by that mantra in terms of, if I am going to create content, I would want to make sure that people respect my privacy as well. Even though it's a public area, some people, create content and they just get people all in these videos, and I don't know. I just feel like, you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. That's basically what I'm trying to say right there. And then you can see over here, we've got another beautiful Epipremnum aureum Marble Queen pothos. Now this one is a Live Trends design planter for $16.98. And you'll see that there is a full end cap of Ficus lyrata and all of these beautiful Costa Farms plants. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the large foliage ones. You can see there's a Philodendron Jungle Boogie. We've got a beautiful Dieffenbachia crocodile, which I almost bought during this plant shopping trip because it's such a beautiful plant, and it's only for, I think, $19.98. I mean, look at how beautiful that green on green variegation is, but I also love the stark white speckles that it has. And if you look at the stems and petioles, it's got some marbling on that as well. So very interesting plant. Dieffenbachias do remind me of Aglaonemas, except their care is a little bit more challenging as compared to some of the other, Aglaonema varieties, for instance. And then you can see we've got some more large foliage plants. Got a little bit of a new shipment of Live Trends design plants. I'm not going to be as nosy and actually try to get the plants out. And then as I spin around here, we've got a Monstera Thai Constellation for $29.98 by Costa Farms. So if you haven't gotten a Monstera Thai Constellations, now is the time to get one, because so many big box stores have them readily available. With Monstera Thai Constellations in this form, you want to make sure that you're not overwatering it, because Monstera Thai Constellations are very susceptible to root rot, and they tend to like to be more root bound. So that means you can keep one in a pot for a while before having to repot it. And then over here, this is a Syngonium white butterfly combination with a Dracaena marginata. These are the combination planters with different types of plants by Costa Farms. That one is for $17.98. And then we've got Epipremnum alplissimum, or what you call the silver streak pothos. This used to be a trending tropical plant for $19.98, but now it's just in a self-watering 6-inch planter for $15.98. This is a plant that I do want to eventually get a hold of, because I do like that it is a pothos plant, but it's got more of a narrow leaf shape to it, and I love silver foliage plants. And you can see right here, we've got lots of golden pothos, and you can see that they are living their best life. They are trailing. They've got some good variegation. This is a plant that I repeatedly say, please buy. Go ahead and buy this plant. Plant foldies, if you're watching this video and you have made it this far, not only do I ask that you hit the like button for this video, but run to a Lowe's location and buy yourself a Costa Farms pothos plant for only $15.98. Sharing is caring. Let's go ahead and share our love for the pothos plant, and let us celebrate and share the love for an Aglaonema red Siam. I want to know how many times I say Aglaonema red Siam in the last week of videos that I've created, because I mean, look at this, $15.98. And I did buy an Aglaonema red Siam at this location because I felt that it was healthy. It had some good growth on it. And then you can see here, we've got some beautiful bromeliads, and that's another plant I don't have in my plant collection. It's one of those plants that I like to look at whenever I'm going big box or plant shopping. For instance, look at that beautiful pink coloration on it. And then I did want to pan out on the last jumbo extra large Costa Farms Monstera Thai Constellation for $150. It looks like this Lowe's location just got done watering these plants For anybody who wanted extra large Monstera Thai constellation, this one is still available at this Lowe's location. So plant foldies, as I wrap up this shopping video today, I don't necessarily have a shopping haul, but I did want to show you beautiful plants again by Costa Farms. I love the merchandising that they did at this Lowe's location because you can see that they've got striping going on. We've got Dieffenbachia crocodile. We've got a Cordyline Hawaiian tea plant kiwi, and then we've got Ficus elastica taniki in the background. It's just a really nice arrangement. So I'm just going to spin around here and film a little bit more, and then we are going to end this big box store plant shopping video, and then we'll go ahead and recap what we find at this location. I hope you guys enjoy the beautiful violin classical music that I have for this video. Shout out to Jordan again. Join my YouTube membership tier if you haven't already. It's only for $2.99. And if you haven't already, my name is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and definitely check out the videos that are popping up on the screen. Let's go ahead and binge watch some of these videos. I'll have a brand new video tomorrow. Bye. Day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we will be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's out in Preston Road, Frisco, Texas. This is the one right next to 99 Ranch. If you are familiar of the North Dallas area, this is one of the best big box store Lowe's locations to go plant shopping at. It is a beautiful morning, and of course I like to start my days off when I'm off to go big box store plant shopping, filming some plants for y'all. So for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. I hope you guys will enjoy today's episode. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely, when I say definitely, helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. So please pause, press that thumbs up button, and also give me a follow on Instagram at Growfolds. If you have an Instagram account, that is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plants or anything else of that matter. But you can see right here, I love going out and soaking up that morning sun. It is a gentle day today. It's not too hot. And so I wanted to check out and see if this Lowe's location actually has any new plants. I heard that the Costa Farms trending tropical plants that are usually $19.98 are on sale for $14.98. So we're going to definitely explore and see if that is the case. Who knows? I might end up spending some more money. I have been fairly good about not spending too much money on houseplants, as we talked about, not necessarily having to buy every single plant we come across. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, it is a beautiful morning. I hope everybody has had an amazing day so far. Good vibes only. And, you know, for those that continue to watch my big box or plant shopping videos, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your support means the world to me. So we're going to go ahead and enter this Lowe's location to see. But before we get into that, I haven't talked about classy rabbit soil in a while. So my question is, before we do that big box or plant shopping, is have you pooped on your plants today? And if you haven't, Have you heard about Classy Rabbit Soil? It is a local small business based out in McKinney, Texas. We love our small businesses and local businesses. As you can see right here, I am potting up a beautiful Aglaonema golden powder, which I actually bought from Peta's Planters, a local Dallas plant shop, one of my favorite plant shops in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You can see that I'm using this super chunky soil substrate. Classy Rabbit Soil is 100% naturally sourced, so all of the ingredients are naturally sourced. Some of the things I want to highlight about Classy Rabbit Soil is, number one, it uses rabbit manure, it has pumice, it has rice hulls, and it has composted food waste, so it is a very sustainable source. I love the fact that it's chunky. It really gives the roots air to breathe. And in terms of fast draining, we always talk about fast draining soil. This is the soil to use because it's not only fast draining, but it also retains moisture. What I like about it also is the fact that it has natural mycorrhizae, which actually help establish the roots of your plant, and it helps the plant's roots take up the nutrients more efficiently. So this is why I say that Classy Rabbit Soil is one of the best soils to use if you are using soil substrates. For the longest time, I was actually giving up on soil because soil wasn't doing it for me in terms of just getting my plants to grow very well. A lot of my plants that I receive from overseas really acclimate and recover well under Classy Rabbit Soil. And you can see right over here, this is an example of how fast draining the soil is. So for those that are new and have just discovered my YouTube channel, maybe because YouTube might have recommended it on your feed, thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for already going in and watching my video, but definitely check out Classy Rabbit Soil. You can order Classy Rabbit Soil on classyrabbit.com. If you live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, several local nurseries are already selling it in store. So if not, shop Classy Rabbit Soil or classyrabbit.com. It is at a lower price now, so you can also get free shipping if you buy a minimum amount of orders. Let me know what you think of this beautiful Aglaonema golden powder, but more importantly, when you try Classy Rabbit Soil, let me know if pooping on your plants is actually gonna just boost their growth. I know I poop on my plants often and they do extremely well. So that is my little blurb for today. And don't worry, I'm not going to have as many commercials on this big box store plant shopping video. So before we start to look at the indoor tropical plants, I'm going to go straight to the outdoor garden section just to see what plants they have. It is a gentle, beautiful morning, and I wanted to just bask in that morning light. So we're going to pass by the indoor tropical plants and come right back to it. But let's go ahead and look at some of the plants outside in the garden center. And this is the reason why I love going big box store plant shopping and filming early morning, just because it's not as hot outside. You know, it is the summertime in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I'm surprised we haven't reached 100+ degree weather. It's not as muggy and humid just yet, so I'm able to just freely walk around here. Plant foliage, you can see this is the first Hydra Helix, or the Hedera Helix is the correct way to say it. This is the English ivy. This one is for $4.97. You can see that it is already trailing. I love the look of an English ivy. You already know the English ivy has it just reminds me of like maple leaves, and I love collecting Japanese maple cultivars. That's something that I will really tackle in some of my future videos as well, because as much as I love indoor tropical plants, outdoor gardening, I also love anything that has a Japanese aesthetic, such as Japanese maples, bonsai, etc. But as you can see right here, somebody might have changed their mind on this beautiful cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. This one is the Kiwi, and this one is the Tropic Escape series by Costa Farms. This one is for $6.98. And this particular cordyline tea plant actually can get fairly large. It actually has a very compact growth pattern, and it's one of those plants that I would love to be able to grow indoors, but unfortunately, cordyline plants in general, when you bring them indoors, they're very, very susceptible to spider mites. So you're gonna have to either maintain pest preventatives by spraying it down with neem oil if you're gonna try to grow them indoors, but otherwise, they are really meant to just grow out in an outdoor patio or just somewhere where it receives a lot of light. There's just some plants that just do better when they are grown outside, and it's the same thing with some of the plants that we're about to take a look at right over here. I mean, just look at how stunning this is. This is a Fatsa japonica, or a Japanese Aralia. Look at how beautiful the leaves are. This one can get up to like 5 feet tall, 3 feet wide. This is a plant that I want to try to grow indoors, but I really feel like this is another plant that when brought indoors, it's just going to be more susceptible to spider mites. There are certain plants like that. For instance, the Hydra helix or the cordyline Hawaiian tea plant that does that. So some plants are just not as good in terms of being adaptable as houseplants. So it just is trial and error. Maybe some of our like indoor spaces might be conducive to it, but that's one thing that I want to put out there for anybody watching is, yes, all plants could potentially be grown indoors, but it's a matter of how much effort you have to put into in order to keep that plant alive. Now over here, we're looking at hostas, and these ones are in bloom. Hostas in my grow zone, which is 8B, actually are considered perennials. And you can see right here, we've got some Epipremnum aureum, golden pothos, $19.98. I recently treated myself to getting a neon queen pothos for $19.98. You can see this is another hanging basket. This is the Lowe's brand of golden pothos. Golden pothos, again, if you don't have this plant in your plant collection, please add it to your plant collection. Let's hashtag popularize pothos plants, because they are another plant that, yes, they're readily available. I would even say that there is quite a bit of a following for pothos plants, but when you think about a collector plant, right, you're not running there to try to get a golden pothos as a collector plant. I just feel like since it is readily available and there's not a high value in terms of monetary value, these pothos plants are kind of overlooked. They just become basic plants. But when I say that basic is a good thing, whenever you think about problem solving or trying to correct an issue, people will always say, let's go back to the basics. So what I would say is, yes, let's go back to the basics of just plant care. Find a plant that is low light tolerant, drought tolerant, fast growing, easy to grow, doesn't necessarily need a special type of soil. I would say pothos plants are pretty much that. The only thing is, if you rob a pothos plant out of really good bright indirect light, you're not going to get the best coloration, because that one pothos I picked up earlier was actually a Yesenia pothos. What I've noticed is Yesenia pothos, when it doesn't have enough light, it starts to revert back to green. But as soon as you put it in a lot of bright light, you can get as like bright variegation, if that makes any sense. And then you can see right here, we've got some hardy hibiscus. This one is head over heels, hardy hibiscus. So it's not like the tropical hibiscus that will die off in the winter. It is a perennial which will grow back year after year. And so I'm just going to continue to walk around and show you what outdoor plants they have. These are plants that I've featured in so many of my videos, but I just like to walk around and just see what is available. So feel free to leave in the comments section, plant foldies, what you think. If you do have an outdoor garden, what plants are you currently growing for the summer? I would love to know. So leave that in the comment section below. I always look at encore azaleas or azalea bushes in general because I want to be able to successfully grow long-term in azalea bonsai. I actually created 2 azalea bonsai, but unfortunately one of them ended up going to plant heaven. The thing about azaleas is that they are very much temperamental when it comes to soil. And what I mean by that is if you let their soil dry out completely for like a day or two, they are basically on the verge of going to plant heaven. They really don't like that. You know, with azaleas, they have very fine roots. And so whenever I put azaleas in a bonsai pot that's shallow, that doesn't hold as much moisture, what I like to do is I use kinuma substrate, which is basically a very acidic type rock. And I cut little pieces of sphagnum moss and mix it in there. That way the sphagnum moss can retain some of the moisture, since kinuma is fast draining and it dries up fairly quickly. So that's a trick to keep some of the retention, the moisture retention for azalea. But as you can see right here, it is a beautiful morning. And you know, a couple of things that I like to do in terms of my morning routine is I like to make me a cup of gyokoro or sencha Japanese green tea. I like to use loose leaf. I also mix in a little bit of collagen powder into my tea. I also take a little tablespoon of colostrum. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but basically it's kind of like my health skin regimen. And then I eat a bowl of oatmeal. And then if I'm off, I actually will go outside, water my aglaonema outdoors with the hose, and bring a bowl of chopped up spinach for Charlotte and Catriona. I really just enjoy mornings. It's my favorite part of the day. I've said this before, but I feel like mornings signify new beginnings, potential new growth, etc., etc. So that's the reason why I do a lot of my filming during the morning is obviously because I have a solid routine around my mornings. And then number 2, the lighting is great. And then number 3, unless you are filming or going shopping early morning on like a weekend, typically these big box stores are not swarming with a lot of people. I try not to have people in my my videos because I like to respect people's privacy in terms of just being put on social media without any type of permission. I'm very cognizant about that because I wouldn't want somebody posting me on content unless I am made aware of it, even if it is in a public space. So there's lots of reasons why I do my plant shopping in the morning. Now you can see right here, $12.98. This is an Arabian jasmine made of Orleans, and this is basically also the national flower of the Philippines. In the Philippines, we call this sampaguita. It's got a very fragrant smell about it. It's got some beautiful white blooms. And for jasmine tea, these are the flower buds that are used for jasmine tea to get that fragrant smell. I really love this as well. And I was actually surprised that a sampaguita or this Arabian jasmine is actually a perennial when you grow it in my grow zone. I was actually surprised because I just thought for a plant that is really more of a tropical type plant, it actually will die back down. But if you chop it down to the base, it will come back year after year. My grandmother has like a bush that has been growing with her at her aunt's, at my aunt's house where she lives, and she always has a bunch of jasmine. Now you can see right over here, plant foldies. We've got 2 different kinds of cordyline tea plant. This one is the more compact version. And we're just going to keep walking around here and looking at some of the succulents and other plants that they have available. over here, Plant Foldies, we've got a Neon Queen pothos for $19.98. I'm really happy that I ended up buying one that was even more full and had more trailing vines off of it. But you'll see that this particular Lowe's location is also packed with a lot of plants. That makes me super happy. It makes it worthwhile to be able to go big box store plant shopping. I'm just gonna walk around here and see what else they have available. I'm gonna go ahead and delve into some of the particular plants that they will have at this Lowe's location. So we're gonna see right off the bat what they have available. I'm just gonna take my time to show you. And as you can see, Plant Foldies, this particular Lowe's location is jam-packed full of plants. Really excited to see what we will find today. Costa Farms is definitely bringing in the summer heat. You'll see right off the bat, we've got a beautiful, let's take a look at this. Is this a Philodendron White Knight or Philodendron White Wizard? Actually, it's a Philodendron White Princess. You'll see that there's a little bit of pink on the petioles. Now, this is a trending tropicals plant for $19.98. We've got a beautiful Epiprimnum aureum golden pothos, and look at this super cute dogtail cactus. This one is for $16.98. Plant Foldies. This is what you would call more of a tropical type cactus. Really like the look of that, and that one is also easy to propagate. What else do we have over here? So you'll see that they have an overage of plants, so they have them on these pallets and shelves. This one is a Syngonium white butterfly in a 6-inch planter for $16.98. I love the look of this particular planter as well, or at least hanging basket of Syngoniums. I'm in love with them again. They're acting okay with me right now. I actually have a lot of my Syngoniums growing outdoors, but let's just walk over here and see how massive the selection is at this Lowe's location. So Plant Foldies, this is where we officially start looking at these indoor tropical plants. So as you can see right here, we've got some trending tropical Costa Farms plant. This one is an Epiprimnum aureum lemon meringue pothos for $19.98. But wait a minute, we are seeing a sign for a particular plant, or Costa Farms trending tropical plants at this location for only $14.98. So it looks like there is a My Lowe's deals or My Lowe's reward limited time deal. Lowe's deals for $14.98. We've got these trending tropical house plants ready to go and on sale. So you can see right off the bat, we've got this little fixture with some Monstera stadliana, also known as Monstera cobra. This is the Albo version, and this is another plant that, you know, it is on sale. I know that it is for $14.98. I am super tempted to go ahead and go shopping and buy up all of these trending tropical plants, but I don't know, Plant Foldies. I've been very good about just doing window plant shopping. Unless it's an Aglaonema, I'm definitely going to go ahead and buy that. But as far as these trending tropical plants, for instance, this one is for $19.98, but it is on sale right now for $14.98. The Lowe's deals, my Lowe's rewards. That is super awesome. This is a Philodendron golden crocodile. What a beautiful plant. And I'm just going to continue to pick up a lot of these trending tropical plants. I actually want to ask the Plant Foldies. We see a lot of these trending tropical plants pretty much on a daily basis. If you are following me on my big box or plant shopping videos, there is no way you can miss a Costa Farms trending tropical plant, especially when it is a big box or plant shopping video. My question is, are there particular plants from Costa Farms that you are on the lookout? For me, I am looking for more colorful Aglaonema collection by Costa Farms, hoping that I will see that. And, you know, I will be officially going to the PlantCon 2025 in New York City the last week of August. I actually bought my plane tickets last night. And so I'm very, very excited to be traveling, and specifically because I want to see the legend, the master plant, Kunzo of Japan. I'm hoping he will actually bring the Aglaonema Kunzo hybrid. I would definitely shell out quite a bit of money for that particular hybrid, but in terms of just the plants we are seeing, however, these Costa Farms plants, I know that Justin will be there from Costa Farms at PlantCon, which means I could possibly just talk to him in more detail about some of the plants that we are anticipating. So plant foldies, leave in the comment section what plants you want to see Costa Farms release. Are there some rare and uncommon plants, any variegated plants that you want them to release? I have yet to actually see a Burley Marks Flame in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as far as a trending tropical plant. We see a lot of these plants, especially the pothos plants. And again, I love pothos plants. Epipremnum aureum is my go-to, and growing them outdoors in a shaded patio area, it really just makes them grow a lot faster. Even this particular variety here, this is the Epipremnum aureum lemon meringue pothos. You'll notice that it's got some interesting variegation. Now, pothos plants, and that can be said pretty much with any pothos plants, the more bright indirect light you give the pothos plants, the better the coloration and variegation is going to be. I will even say with the lemon meringue pothos, you'll get more contrast with the variegation. So let's go ahead, plant foldies, and keep looking at these plants. Super exciting to see that these plants are on sale. So if you're looking for budget friendly, if you're looking for cost effective plant shopping, now is the time to check out your Lowe's location to see if there's a Lowe's deal where these house plants are on sale. I know last week their plants were on sale from $22.98 to $14.98. So for the trending tropical plants by Costa Farms, these are on sale. You can see we have a Scindapsus Trubii Moonlight. And here's the thing about Scindapsus Trubii Moonlight. I love that it has that silver bluish tone about it. It has like a Epipremnum panatum Cebu blue pothos look. I love the veining of the middle part of the leaf. It's shiny, it's metallic, it is a readily available plant. And you have to think that this particular Scindapsus used to be super rare and super expensive. They do have the Scindapsus Trubii Moonlight dark form. I would love to acquire that because I do find dark foliage plants super elegant, but this metallic blue shine on this particular Scindapsus is really nice. I did have one, but I kind of neglected it in a sense that I just didn't water it nearly as much. And so I had to pretty much part ways with it. It ended up going to Plant Heaven. And you know, for plants, for anybody that is collecting plants, as I kind of go into my plant insights for today's video, just know that if you grow plants in your household, if you grow plants indoors, there is a probability and a high probability that you may end up sending a plant to Plant Heaven. Even this beautiful Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil, I ended up getting this one for $16.98, but it was actually on clearance for 50% off. This is an easy to care for plant. However, if you do not water this plant, if you do not stay on top of the plant care requirements, it can go to Plant Heaven fairly quickly. Same thing with this Aglaonema Red Siam. This one is for $15.98. Self-watering planter by Costa Farms. It is a plant I would recommend everybody adding into their collection. And even this Ficus lyrata, $15.98 is the price that Lowe's is selling this for. It's a beautiful plant. I actually, and I know it sounds silly, plant foldies, because I'm also a big advocate when it comes to just growing green plants, but I would love to acquire a variegated Ficus lyrata. I don't really see them as often, even at these big plant shows like such as PlantCon, so we'll see. Now this one is another Monstera Stadliana. This one is for $19.98, but it is on sale. There is a Lowe's deal for $14.98. So to cash in on these savings, as I mentioned in a lot of my big box or plant shopping videos, ways to save money is really investing in getting the big box store app. So for instance, Lowe's has a phone app where it's called Lowe's Rewards. where you can get digital coupons, digital rewards, and digital deals. I mean, this one right here, for instance, is only for $15.98. This is the Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic Blue. A few things to note about the Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic Blue. It was released by Costa Farms originally as a trending tropical plant for $19.98. But just like the Philodendron Pink Princess, it looks like Costa Farms has moved it to the self-watering 6-inch tier where it's only for $15.98. I really love Epipremnum pinnatum, and because they are endemic to my home country, the Philippines, they literally grow like weeds. And that Baltic Blue Epipremnum pinnatum actually takes fenestrations without having to be on a pole, moss pole. It actually gets those fenestrations without having to climb. So I find that quite interesting, and we're just going to continue to look at some of these beautiful trending tropical plants that are on sale. We've got some Lowe's deals. So this one is the Silver Inducon. So I kind of wish I had known about this sale or knew that they were going to put them on sale about 2 weeks ago. I ended up buying a Silver Inducon, and what I will say about this particular plant is it's absolutely stunning. The footage that I get does not do it justice. When you see it in person, it has a metallic shine about it. It looks like foil. It is so beautiful, but that plant does require consistent watering. And so for me, I repotted that Silver Inducon in a 10-inch planter outside in Fox Farm soil, and it's doing very well. I did notice that it will burn if it gets too much light, so I had moved it into the shade further back to protect it. But as you can see right here, this is a super full Lowe's location, limited time deal, Lowe's deals. This one is for $14.98. All of those trending tropical Costa Farms plants. We can see we have a Monstera adansonii over here, originally $19.98, but it is on sale right now for $14.98. So we're going to continue to explore and see what other plants they have at this Lowe's location. And we have another beautiful Silver Inducon right over here. Look at how stunning this is. I'm almost tempted to purchase this plant, but you know what I like about this plant is it looks like it's a little bit faster of a grower as compared to, say, an Aglaonema, and it looks like it pushes little baby pups. So I'm gonna just let mine establish outdoors. My tip again for anybody that grows indoor tropical plants inside, if you want to put a lot of growth on your plants, whether you want to just have it grow a little bit faster, take it outdoors in a shaded patio area where it gets like east facing morning light and protection from the hot western sun, and you will see results happen. I'm gonna let this one grow in my outdoor patio alongside with my Aglaonema. I am going to start fertilizing my overseas Aglaonema growing in my patio with the Miracle Grow all-purpose fertilizer, and I'm gonna get a hose from Miracle Grow, just the top hose where it will mix the fertilizer as I use my hose to actually fertilize and water my plants. You can see this is another beautiful Costa Farms trending tropical plant. This is another alocasia that I really love. I had it growing in Lechuza Pond, but I just did not keep up with keeping the water reservoir with water, so it ended up going to plant heaven. The thing about alocasia is if you let it just die back down to its corm and let it dry out, you can resurrect it. So I do have a story where I ended up like pretty much sending a variegated alocasia to plant heaven, but it ended up becoming a phoenix plant where it came back to life when I filled up the water reservoir in my Lechuza Pond. So I'm going to actually feature that as a shorts video in my YouTube membership tier. So for those that are not YouTube members, for my membership tier called the Super Plant Foldies, again, it's only for $2.99. It is the price of a cup of coffee, a bag of chips, some type of snack. It's even less than buying an aglaonema, you know, like this one, for instance, by Urban Jungle for $14.98. I would hope you guys would consider joining my YouTube membership tier. It does help with the sustainability of this YouTube channel. It definitely adds to my passive income. And I did want to shout out David from Pennsylvania, Super Plant Foldie, that always gives YouTube membership tiers to 5 lucky plant foldies. So David, I appreciate you, and I hope that I will meet you at PlantCon 2025 in New York City later this August. And for anybody else that is going to PlantCon in New York City, I would love to meet up with you. Just send me a direct message on my Instagram. So as you can see right here, plant foldies, we have a couple of plants. I'm noticing, if I'm being a little bit critical of this particular Lowe's location, some of the plants look a little dehydrated. It looks like they need some water. So we'll continue to pick up some of these plants, like this Live Trends Design plant. Self-watering planter. This is a Ficus elastica ruby for $14.98. Love Live Trends Design. That modern contemporary look is really the aesthetic I like. And you'll see right over here, this is an example of a juvenile form ponytail palm. Can you believe that it doesn't have like a really big trunk slash caudex? It's a really cute palm. It doesn't even look like a ponytail palm just yet. And then take a look at this. So we have some Urban Jungle planters, and this almost looks like a Live Trends Design planter, but it's an Urban Jungle planter. This one is for $24.98. This is another Ficus elastica ruby, and I just love growing my rubber tree plants or Ficus elastica in full sun outdoors next to a automated sprinkler. I've noticed that it's gained so much growth. And as far as propagating Ficus elastica, you can take cuttings and just put them directly into soil and they will root. Aglaonema Silver Bay, $24.98, and another classic plant. It is one of my favorite plants. I could have multiples of the Aglaonema Silver Bay. Like I said, again, it is a beginner-friendly plant. It is low light tolerant, drought tolerant. It gets large leaves. It's beautiful. It can fill up a space, a dark space in your home, and you can still grow this plant. So if you're looking for something easy, something beautiful, one of my favorite plants, buy that Aglaonema Silver Bay. And then here's another Urban Jungle planter, $24.98. We have a Dracaena Hurricane or Dracaena Tornado. Look at how it's kind of spiraling, and I love the yellow neon green edges of the leaves. This is another easy to care for plant because, again, it is low light tolerant and drought tolerant. So for $24.98, I feel like you're getting a pretty good deal, especially for a plant that's not going to bring you stress in terms of the plant care. And here is the Lucky Bamboo plant, also known as the Dracaena Sandriana by Costa Farms. That one is for $15.98. And then we also have a prayer plant right here, a marantha. And the thing about it is you can see that some of the leaves are crisping. The pot seems really light because look at how bone dry it is. So that is something that you need to make sure doesn't happen to your prayer plants like this. Otherwise, they are screaming to go to plant heaven. And I've noticed some of the plants at this particular Lowe's location today just are in desperate need of some water. I mean, it's the same thing with this particular Jade Pothos, for instance, by Urban Jungle. This one is for $14.98. This one can still needs to be watered. There's a lot of plants that I'm picking up that just seem really light. And then over here we have a green marantha, beautiful plant, but you'll notice how the leaves curl up like that when it is in desperate need for water, when it is thirsty. Now, once it gets watered, the leaves are going to come back. But if you let it stay dry for too long, that's when the browning and crisping happens with those particular plants. And some plants have more tolerance than others. I would even say the Hoyas, for instance, don't get as much damage when you don't water them, but like Syngoniums, for instance, now this is a beautiful Syngonium milk confetti in an Urban Jungle planter. I love the pink, but for Syngoniums, for instance, if you don't water it as consistently or let it stay dry for too long, the bottom leaves of the vine will actually crisp up and die, and then that's when it becomes leggy. And you'll see right over here, we do have a beautiful Ficus elastica burgundy, $14.98. Plants for mindful living, and I do agree with that. You know, growing plants is definitely a way to practice mindfulness. I absolutely love looking at foliage, and that's the reason why I plant foldies again, even though these are plants that you have seen from a previous video yesterday, the day before, a month ago, last year. I just feel like showing you footage of plants is one way to just relax, and I really appreciate all of the positive feedback I've gotten for the new musical tracks. I went for more of a lo-fi beat with a mixture of classical music. So I'm hoping you guys will enjoy the music, and I'm going to go ahead and just continue to just pick up plants and let the relaxing tracks go through as I go big box store plant shopping today. This one is a beautiful Aglaonema Golden Bay, for instance. For this Lowe's location, they do have a selection of Costa Farms Exotic Angels. I really love that they have a selection. Now, as far as Costa Farms Exotic Angels, I hope that they're going to release some new varieties because there are pretty much the same ones. And then now we're going to be looking at some of the planters. This is a really nice modern hanging ceramic planter, and a lot of these are the neutral colors that I prefer for my planters. And the reason being is I just love that they're neutral, so it doesn't really take away from the plant. I tend to be more on the, I guess, minimalistic side, even though this one right here is kind of cute with the pink strokes on there, painted strokes on there. And then this is exactly the look I like. I love that modern simplistic look. So this is more of a catch pot. And then let's go ahead and spin around here and take a look at some more of the plants. You can see we've got a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil, and then we also have another Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess for $16.98. This one is another Costa Farms hanging basket. This one is in a 6-inch hanging basket, and I prefer the 6-inch hanging hanging baskets. They're a little bit more manageable than the 8-inch ones, unless it is a Manjula Pothos hanging basket. I don't mind the larger sizes. And you can see we've got a beautiful Syngonium here. This one is a Syngonium Pink Illusion for $5.98, and I love the rounder, larger leaves. I love the red veining, and I recently discovered an Instagram profile that specializes in different types of rare and exotic Syngoniums from Thailand. So I'm hoping that I might be able to place an order from that particular seller. You know, I do a lot of overseas plant videos, and I'm hoping that everybody will tune into the Indo-Miami YouTube channel. That is my friend Harry's channel. He works in conjunction with Art Garden Flowers on Instagram. That is my friend Riki's nursery, who also does an air cargo business. So if you're ever looking to get some of the more rare and uncommon aglaonemas or plants from overseas in Indonesia, you can go through Indo-Miami Plants, Art Garden Flowers, or my friend leafcrafter.id on Instagram. So follow those profiles and definitely take a chance and look at the YouTube channel Indo-Miami Plants by my friend Harry. Now you can see right over here, this is a beautiful Syngonium Pink Illusion, $5.98, and it has that wick and grow planter that Costa Farms makes specifically for Lowe. So they have a little wick string at the bottom of their Costa Farms exotic angel plants. Now these are the planters that are self-watering, so it has a reservoir that you can stick that in and it becomes self-watering. Now we have another beautiful silver Indukan right here. This one is originally for $19.98, but it is on sale right now. It is a Lowe's deal, limited time Lowe's sale for $14.98. And I'm really tempted to want to buy another silver Indukan. Plant foldies, leave in the comment section if you would buy this plant. Doesn't it look like an aglaonema as well? Such a beautiful plant, and I find that it's super easy if you're able to stay on top of the watering. It will definitely get droopy if you don't water it consistently, but growing it outdoors in a shaded area has made it so much easier, and that is why I am going to continue to talk about taking some of your indoor tropical plants outdoors, especially when the weather is warm. It is super hot though in North Texas, but if it's in a shaded area and there is consistent watering, your plants should do fine. Actually, they may end up growing a lot faster. And then you'll see right over here another urban jungle planter. So this one is mixing up metallic planters. This one is a Philodendron heteroecium Brazil. Beautiful plant, very consistent performer, one of my favorites, one of my easy care houseplant recommendations. And then we have another croton plant right over here. This is the Sunny Star Croton for $5.98. Another Costa Farms exotic angel plant. Crotons, we just have to realize that crotons need to be growing outdoors in full sun if you really want them to thrive for you. And over here is another Hedera Helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera Helix. This one is the Bettina English ivy. It is one of my favorite ivies because I like how it has a rounder shape leaf. It's a little bit wider and it's got some really nice variegation. I've had a Bettina English ivy in the past. Unfortunately, it went to plant heaven because it was infested by spider mites by week 2 growing indoors. So that's really the dilemma when it's when growing English ivy. I even did a recent poll during a live premiere chat with the plant foldy community and asked if anybody would add an English ivy to their plant collection, and unanimously a lot of plant foldies would not. So I totally get it. It is a challenging plant to grow indoors. And this is interesting. Somebody got creative and took an urban jungle ceramic planter and put in a Costa Farms exotic angel plant. This one is a Hedera Helix. This one is Hedera Helix. Wonderful. And what a wonderful look it has. I'm trying to find a place to put this up. I'm probably going to move one of the planters here. Let me just set this down. Let me move this beautiful Syngonium in a matching pot that made it a self-watering planter. center, and we'll just go ahead and put this plant here. So plant foldies, what are y'all thinking so far of some of the plants we are featuring? And what do you think about the consistency of my big box or plant shopping videos? I'm really excited that I have been able to catch up, create content, and be able to just chat with you guys and interact with you. Again, if you made it this far into the video and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, please do so. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And if you are inclined to or feel like you'd like to support me even further, if you have any social media such as Facebook plant groups, Instagram, any social media you'd like to share the link to our YouTube channel, I'd appreciate that as well. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I'm just going to continue to walk around and show you what houseplants are available. The fact that the Costa Farms trending tropical plants are on sale right now for $14.98. Super exciting. So definitely download the Lowe's app so that way you can save on some more money on these plants. So we'll just continue to pick up some more plants. I'll show you some more beautiful foliage. Feel free at any point to leave commentary, ask questions in the comment section. Even join my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, if you haven't already. And let's just continue to hang out and enjoy the plant shopping this morning. So in the past few videos, plant foldies, you've noticed me talking about Dieffenbachia. I mean, look at how this Dieffenbachia really looks like Aglaonema, but again, the plant care is a little bit different than Aglaonema. Aglaonema can tolerate lower light conditions. Dieffenbachia don't really like that. Dieffenbachia are not drought tolerant. They really need to be consistently watered. And as far as plant pests, Dieffenbachia are more susceptible to spider mites, especially if you're growing them indoors. Now, if you grow Dieffenbachia outdoors, they probably will enjoy that condition because they're going to get more light. And the thing about Dieffenbachia is they thrive on lots of bright indirect light. They like filtered light. I wouldn't say that they would do well in full sun. They would actually burn the leaves, but you'll see that there are two different versions of Dieffenbachia right here. This one has some beautiful speckling on it, and the other one has more of a middle, like white peach tone to that particular Dieffenbachia. Both are for $15.98. Here's a plant accessory, $10.98. You've got a mister. So if you want to just mist your plants with a little bit of moisture, water, just to get the leaves wet, just to increase the humidity, that is a little plant accessory you can use. And then you can see that this is actually a Phalaenopsis orchid combination with Mandula pothos. Love Mandula pothos. It is my second favorite pothos aside from the neon pothos. And now we're looking at these trending tropical plants. Again, this is another Monstera Adansonii on sale for $14.98. And you'll notice that Costa Farms actually has plant care tips. They have a QR code that you can scan. So that's really exciting whenever you're going shopping for plants. If you're not as familiar about the plant care, there are nurseries such as Costa Farms that goes that extra mile to give you some plant care tips. Again, it is plant care tips. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is an end all be all. You'd be surprised about some of the conditions that certain plants are put into, or even the routines that individuals have, and it works for them. I would say do what is best for you when it comes to growing plants. If you're more comfortable doing it a certain way, you don't necessarily have to follow plant care tips, especially if your plant is actively growing for you, then you must be doing something right, or there's something doing well or it's actually doing well in the environment you provided is what I mean to say. But you can see here, beautiful Pottery aquatica. That one was for $39.98. It's a larger one. What I've noticed about Pottery aquatica is it is an easy to care for plant. It can be spider mite prone. And I know that some of the plant foldies have been dealing with spider mites. The thing about spider mites is if it is a dry environment in a space, that is when spider mites tend to pop up. I would say, spray your plants periodically with neem oil spray. So I have a DIY neem oil spray that I use, but I can also recommend using We the Wild neem oil spray. It has a really good scent. It was sold at Target, but I don't know if Target is actually carrying that anymore. I think Target has moved from their seasonal outdoor patio set to back to school. I mean, for those that are students that actually watch my videos, I'm not sure. I think we have a more mature crowd. Best of luck with the school year. Bring a plant to your teacher. I'm sure the teacher would appreciate that. And, a plant that you could bring would be a Costa Farms exotic angel plant. Now, this one is a croton bush on fire. I just love the fact that at the bottom leaves, they're like reddish, and then it starts to become orange and yellow and then green at the top. It really does look like it is on fire. Maybe next year I will attempt to try to grow some crotons, but you'll see right over here we've got some beautiful planters. I really like the modern minimalistic aesthetic that Lowe's Planters has. And let's spin around here and take a look at some more exotic angel planters and plants. You can see this one is for $8.98. This is another Rex begonia by Costa Farms. Variegated Cupid peperomia, also known as variegated peperomia scandens. This is more of a succulent type peperomia. Love the variegation. This one is for $20.98. It does look a little bit fragile. If I feel like the vining, like this one right here, is pretty much broken off. That one needs to be propagated, or it's going to go to plant heaven. But anyways, plant foldies. Let me just continue to pick up some more of these exotic angel plants. You'll notice a lot of the plants at this particular Lowe's location, I hate to say it, but they are in desperate need of water. Like, I would totally volunteer and water these plants if I could. There have been times where I actually arrange plants before I film it, just to give a better presentation for the merchandising. That is really my just volunteerism when it comes to plants. And I do have a special place in my heart for big box store plants, because I am always at a big box store on a daily basis, or at least on Tuesdays on my days off. I do feel great. I know I've been a little bit chatty, but I do feel great in the fact that I've been able to reel back and really hunker down and make content, because for me, I know that plant foldies, you guys will be here, or at least you guys mentioned you will continue to watch my videos, but part of me is very much goal oriented. I do suffer from OCD. My OCD sometimes fuels my anxiety. And to me, just going out and picking up another Hydra Helix, for instance, this is the little Herman English Ivy for $5.98. Being able to go film quietly on a relaxing Tuesday morning to get plant content, it really does a lot for me mentally and even physically, because I'm getting my vitamin D, being out in that gentle sun. I'm out and about. I get to de-stress. So there is a lot of benefits for me creating plant YouTube content. So as much as the Plantfoldy community gets some value out of my my videos, I get so much value just making content. A lot of it also ends up being me just having a personal blog or a personal journal where I can just chat away and tell you my insights. So hopefully you guys will appreciate that, or at least accept my authentic self, because I am pretty chatty. I get very passionate about plants or just subjects in general. I have a lot of thoughts I want to share with the Plantfoldy community, like the fact that this flame violet, for instance, is so stunning, and it's only for $20.98. I've actually thought about adding a flame violet into my plant collection, but as I mentioned with a lot of my videos, as much as I want to just pretty much acquire all of these plants, we think about the amount of space we have in our indoor spaces. Right now, I've found a plant hack in being able to simplify my plant care, and that's literally taking all my plants outside and keeping them in a shaded patio. It just makes it easier to water because I have a sprinkler that automatically waters them twice a day, and then I can hose them down as well with the hose. So simply, simplifying plant care kind of de-stresses me out, and you kind of like wean away from plant burnout. But at the same time, winter is coming, and the fact that I have acquired a lot of aglaonema, for instance, I just have to be prepared to have a space where they can at least be overwinterized for at least 3 to 4 months until the spring comes around. So that's something in the back of my head. Plantfoldies, let me know in the comment section if you also think about what you do with your plants that you grow outdoors on spring and summer, and what you do when you have cold climates such as ice and snow. I'd like to know your insights, so please leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. So we're just gonna continue to pick up some more of these plants. $15.98, another beautiful calathea. Unfortunately, calatheas, they're just not going to be in my plant collection. I will just admire them at a nursery, a small business, or a big box store like Lowe's, because they're always going to be available. They're just very, very, very challenging plants. Unless you have cracked the code on how to take care of calatheas long-term indoors, it's just really challenging. One things I will say about Spathiphyllum or peace lily is I just love the deep, shiny foliage. I don't even have to worry about the blooms. They're not as interesting as me looking at the blooms. I just really like that deep color. And as I start to wrap up this big box store plant shopping video, just see how full this Lowe's location is. I wish they had a little bit more trending tropical plants to pick from, but you know what? I can't be too choosy in the fact that they still have quite a bit of plants to pick from. And there are several plants I would totally buy. Like I would totally buy this begonia red kiss, but knowing how I take care of my plants, or at least the lack thereof for certain plant care requirements, like this one will need consistent watering. I just know to admire the plant from afar, or at least whenever I'm shopping or filming plants at a big box store. Same thing with this Marble Queen pothos. I love it. I already have one, but I could probably use another one. So if I find another Marble Queen pothos for a good price, I would definitely buy it. I am scaling back on the more challenging plants and just going back to the basics. I don't know if you agree, Plantfoldies, but sometimes finding the more quote basic plants is really the best way to go about it. And you can see on the left, we do have a trending tropical plant, Monstera Thai Constellation, but there's very little variegation on that one. And then look at this beautiful Hoya Curtsii. This one is also native to the Philippines. And if I were to add another type of Hoya, I would probably go with this one. Hoyas are interesting. I haven't become a Hoya head yet, but who knows, because I might be receiving some more plants from another overseas nursery called Aroid Market. So definitely check out for an unboxing video, and let's just continue to pick up a few more plants before I wrap up this video today. always nice to see trending tropical plants on sale by Costa Farms because they really do have a great selection. I absolutely love Costa Farms plants. I think that Costa Farms has made it readily available for us to acquire plants that otherwise would be either expensive, hard to get, or just be a wish list plant. I mean, even the different types of pothos varieties that they have, I'm excited to see what other varieties they will eventually have. Hopefully they will make some of these pothos plants into larger hanging baskets. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. As always, if you haven't already, consider joining my YouTube membership tier. And know throughout the week, I actually have lots of brand new big box store plant shopping videos. As I wrap up this video today, let me know what your favorites were. As always, my name is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on and click on the videos that are popping up on the screen. Let's binge watch some of them, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.